Steven Universe is property of Cartoon Network, Rebecca Sugar, and all its respective owners. Any and all footage or images have been used for the sole purpose of critique/parody, and as such are protected under fair use. Please support the official release. Hey guys, what's up? Nate here with another Steven Universe theory for you. With Steven and Connie talking to each other again and Stevonnie back in full fighting force, we are bound to see more of Stevonnie battling the Diamond Matriarchy and more corruptions. With fighting corruptions though, comes the risk of getting corrupted themselves. We know for sure that non-corrupted gems that fuse with corrupted gems will become corrupted, as seen with Jasper, but do we really know the extent of how corruption spreads? For all we know, overexposure of corruption, such as touch or being in the vicinity of one, can corrupt a gem. I mean, whenever the crystal gems fight a corruption, they either poof it quickly or knock it away to deal with it later. The only time Steven has really had constant exposure with a corruption was with Centipedal, and her first revival was weakened, and her second was partially healed, so he never really was exposed to a full corruption for that long. So, reiterating, we don't know all the ways that corruption can spread between gems. With this being said, this opens up the possibility of Stevonnie being corrupted. Stevonnie, being a fusion of Steven and Connie, is an enigma of what would happen if they got corrupted. Being half gem, Steven would most likely become more corrupted like other gems we've seen, but what would happen to Connie, or humans in general? How would corruption affect them? Before we get there, I want to discuss how corruption affects gems. If you've watched the show at all, which I hope you have, or else why are you watching this video, you know the monsters that the crystal gems fight in the show are corrupted gems. We've come to know that corruption was the defining end of the gem war on Earth. Seen from Centipedal's drawings and Lapis's flashback, it was caused by the light/song that most likely was the diamonds doing. This light caused exposed gems to lose control and morph into the monsters we know today. We've also been told that corruption is not a physical problem, but is more of a mental problem. The rewiring of the gems' minds resulted in them changing form, which they are able to do because their bodies are made of light and they choose what they look like. Now, what would happen if a human got corrupted? We don't have bodies made of light. We get hurt, we don't poof. We either feel pain or, in the worst circumstance, die. So if Stevonnie got corrupted, how would it affect Connie? I am assuming that Steven would unfuse as to not cause Connie to change form with him, but clearly Connie isn't going to turn into a monster. She can't. Connie's body would stay the same because it isn't made of light, but I can't say the same about her mind. Connie would go insane, or at least be riddled with a variety of mental illnesses. This leads me to the theory that humans are already corrupted. The show makes it seem like the only thing affected by the corrupting light were gems. However, since the Gem War occurred several millennia ago, the human species was prevalent on Earth. It is also very likely that humans actually fought in the Gem War, with Rosa's armory having suits of armor from many different eras, as well as Pearl mentioning she trained with master swordsmen. This being said, humans were most definitely exposed to the corrupting light as well. One of the major reasons the war even happened was to protect the human race. And that got me thinking, why didn't the diamonds just corrupt humans and destroy one of the major stances of the war? Then I realized, they did. It was a classic situation of killing two birds with one stone. Even though they had to sacrifice some of their own soldiers, with corruption wiping out the majority of capable fighting gems on Earth, which ended the war on one front, the surviving crystal gems assumed the corruption only affected the gems, not humans, and that the diamonds simply had given up. I don't think the diamonds would just give up like that, leaving the thing the rebels wanted to protect unharmed. But here's the thing, they weren't unharmed. Corruption had the exact same effect on humans as it did on gems. The only thing, it didn't cause visible change to humans. I'm proposing that corruption is simply the introduction of mental illness into the human species. Depression, bipolar disorder, BPD, anxiety, and so many more all stem from the Diamond's corruption song. I mean, mental illness is often caused by chemical imbalance in the brain that affects the behavior of a person. In humans, it is often an invisible illness, and just by looking at someone, you wouldn't be able to tell if they were suffering from some mental illness. However, in gems, this is not an invisible illness. They are literally the physical embodiment of a mental illness. The monsters we have seen are representative of depression, anxiety, and other diseases. Let's also take a look at the fusing mechanism of corruption. Something you might not know about mental illness is that it's often hereditary and can be passed down from your parents. Since gems don't really reproduce, it is difficult for them to pass on this disease to another gem, unless they fuse together. If you think about it though, fusing and reproducing are essentially the same thing. You're creating a completely new being by having two individuals come together. Technically this works for fusions fusing with others as well, because even though they are two or more gems together, they are still technically one being. So in gems, the corruption is never really passed down, but the human population is constantly growing, which means corruption continues to spread. On a very serious note, guys, I am aware that this is a cartoon, and mental illness was not something created by the Diamond Hierarchy. Mental illness can be very serious. If you are suffering from mental illness or believe you might be, don't be afraid to ask for help. Even though sometimes the media can portray mental illness as invalid or not that serious, it's 100% real and can be very dangerous. I'm gonna put a few hotlines in the description that can help if you just want to talk about things. I can't stress enough that you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes the best medicine isn't an actual pill, but just talking things out. From personal experience, keeping things pent up inside can make you feel terrible. Talking can help. Okay, that's it for that video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also, comment down below if you think humans were affected by corruption, and if so, what effects did it have on us? Go follow me on social media and join my Discord, link in the description below. I want to talk to you guys some more about this. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you stay notified whenever I post. And until next time, I'll catch you later.